So remember when last time I said that this game is essentially like Chrono Trigger and that this is going to be a turn-based game? I think I hit the nail right on the head, and I believe that this is exactly what we're getting with this new One Piece. Now, the reason why I'm playing the trailer in the background obviously is just for some background stuff, so don't worry about it because we already dropped the trailer breakdown. This isn't for the trailer breakdown, this is actually to go ahead and give you guys more of an inside look as to what kind of gameplay mechanics we could possibly be getting in this particular One Piece game. And this is in regards to what I mentioned before, that this One Piece game is going in the direction of an open world RPG. But ultimately, there's just so much to cover, so much of things that this trailer gave us. Cinematic scenes aside, the fighting stuff has to get covered on the channel. I have to go ahead and give you guys a whole inside look as to how this game is going to break down and what things we can get as far as the fighting mechanics, exploration mechanics, and other stuff like that. So that's what this video is about, give you guys an inside look at all that. And if you guys do enjoy these kind of videos, show some love, hit the thumbs up and share it. Come back to me and we'll continue posting more One Piece Odyssey videos as this stuff continues coming. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the action. And let's start over with the exploration. Part 1, exploration. So if you guys watched the beginning of the video already gives you a layout in regards to the things that, to the island or the place that you're gonna be at. Now, I mentioned in my last video that the fact that Eiichiro Oda has to do with the production, the character design, and part of the story. He also mentioned that there's very much a lot of paradoxes to what he would like to do with his characters towards the end of the story or something like that of the sort. Not only that, but the information given to us by the trailer also points that there's a character that is not supposed to be where they're supposed to be. And I'm assuming that it's the Straw Hat Pirates being teleported to an era or to a time period that they're not supposed to be at that point, but also it's not going to be in a time period of now or in the future. Is more than likely going to be set in that black void period where everything is unknown and whatnot, and that's where this premise is more than likely going to be set up. Another thing that we want to look at is the fact that the actual trailer is giving us an inside look at different places that we're going to be looking at. So we have a beach area, which is more than likely a surface area. We're going to have dungeons like these, basically mythological areas, old ancient civilization, which reminds you of obvious the Joy Boy civilizations and the Skypia kind of style things here. And little by little, we start getting more and more of an open world and open adventure in things where we're at. So we start off just from this, we're starting off with look at the beach, then look at the caves, the dungeons and things like that we're going to be exploring. Look at ruins map. This right here is showing us, you know, the activation of certain things and how they get teleported and get to the area. Again, this guy looks exactly like a Shandayan, so looking like a guy from Skypia, and that's pretty much what we're getting in the sense of exploration. These are all different areas, and this is what you're going to be able to run around, be able to interact with. This is under development at the moment, so a lot of people are asking like, yo, this is looking bare bones, so how is it going to work out? Well, for one, in these open areas, I am almost 100% positive that this game, the way it's looking, is going to have monsters spawn in certain areas, or they're going to be in that area, and either you could avoid the fight like now traditional RPGs, or if you go into like a high grass or tall grass area, which they haven't shown here, but more than likely they're going to show areas where you could barely see stuff, then there the opponent or the enemies will more than likely have a chance to spook you or come out and just pop out on you and cause you to go into battle. There is a lot of exploration. a lot of different mechanics to be able to get from point A to point B. Obviously, Luffy can't swim, so we have more than likely the climbing mechanic, which you guys already saw there. And I'll rewind that back just in case. We have the treasure chest climbing mechanic. More than likely, we're gonna end up developing a fast travel mechanic or a flying mechanic by using, you know, his Gum Gum balloon, or, you know, his Gum Gum slingshot technique, which is used in a lot of games to travel from point A to point B. But ideally, the other thing that they're showing you is that we're gonna get, like I mentioned in my first video in regards to this, we're gonna get a lot of mini games, a lot of things that not just only have to do with the main story, but we're gonna also be doing side missions, which is going to unlock more than likely the actual ending to the game, or 100%ing the game, getting the trophies and things. If you're a collector, obviously getting the best weapons. If they allow you to switch weapons here or allow you to upgrade your character, this is probably the best way to get the best upgrades for each character individually and whatnot. Another thing that they're showing here is the fact that you're going to be able to use all the characters at one point or another as the main sauce or the main spread in different parts area, or just in general. You'll be able to use them in combination as well, but ultimately each section is probably going to be referred to or used with one of the Straw Hat crew being the main center of the focus of that chapter or of that section. Each one of these Straw Hat members also is going to have more than likely a special ability to be able to get from a point to another, or be able to craft certain items. And I can see it that way. For example, Sanji being the cook. Without Sanji, when you go to your campsites, without him, you just have, you know, regular old meals which don't heal you as much or heal you a portion of the way, like a regular shelter, versus that when you do have Sanji, you can come up with different meals and different cookbooks and different things like that, that you could go ahead and get different kind of attributes at the campfire, which we see here, cutscene, when they're going ahead and eating by the campfire. Now, that's just an example of how the characters may play into part as you're going down the road. Another thing is like using Zoro to cut open, you know, certain areas where normally we couldn't be able to access before. Zoro could probably use his Dragon Twister and be able to go ahead and cut those trees down as well. This is the most important thing of the video that I wanted to get into, and that's the reason why I stopped the video. I talked about this in my first video, but this game is going to be turn-based. There is no doubt about that this game is going to be turn-based. The way the characters are set up, the way the bosses appear. This is a boss. Yes, this right here is one of the bosses that you'll probably fight. Just like in Skypia where you had the giant snake, this is probably one of those ancient animals that are going to be around the ruins like you guys see back here and all that good stuff, and we're gonna have to beat them. Each area that we go to more than likely is gonna have some kind of ancient type monster or ancient type fiend they're gonna have to defeat in order to go ahead and progress the story or get the blocks and things that we need in order to be able to fix whatever issue caused us to get here. Not every single big boy that you see is going to be a boss per se, but the one thing that I know I can see just from the details that we're getting here is that when you do encounter an enemy, what ends up happening is that it does show an animation first, and then shows them like roaring or doing something like that of the sort, and then you get into action. Now, will it be with every single monster you fight? I don't think so. More than likely, other monsters will have smoother and faster animations, but bigger monsters that do have a roar, or you stumble upon that, like, you know, they're like mini bosses or intermediate bosses, they're going to have these kind of introductions where they do some kind of thing like that of the sort. Next, the final thing I want to get back into the video that I do want to bring back once more is the combat style in this. Of course, we already know that it's turn-based, JRPG style, so on and so forth. The thing about One Piece is that One Piece versatility, not only in the action and in the fighting, can go from simple to being pretty much a spectacle on screen. So here's an example of what I'm saying. Right here we saw Luffy launching his Gum Gum machine gun, right? And the thing about it is that in that same retrospect as you guys saw right there, this could honestly just be his simple attack, just one of the simple attacks that he has. It doesn't necessarily have to be an actual ultimate, and I think that that's one of the things that One Piece does, is that a lot of the time when these characters are fighting and whatnot, most of the times they are using a lot of their techniques. You have Luffy left and right using Gomu Gomu no machine gun, the Giganto, you name it. So I think that a lot of these essential techniques are going to be just basic entry techniques, and like the machine gun is going to be Luffy's standard. 1,000-pound strike right here is going to be Zoro's standard. You know, the 10-ton hammer, for example, is going to be like his standard attack or whatnot. And as you develop the characters, they're going to go ahead and have different techniques. Obviously, this is all first part techniques. This is nothing new. The machine gun is from Luffy's arsenal from the very beginning, which is why I say that. The pound, the 10-pound, the 1,000-pound Phoenix is, of course, Zoro's first half main technique. The 10-ton hammer by Usopp. I hate saying Sanji's technique because it's in French, and I don't speak French, but it is Carpe de Jean, I think it is. And pretty much, this is exactly what I'm trying to get at. These characters are going to start off with, and you're going to be able to expand on those techniques. And an example of expansion, we're going to be able to go ahead and get all of Luffy's gears and be able to use gear second techniques. We're going to be able to go ahead and activate more than likely the auras, the Azura's aura for Zoro. We're probably going to get more techniques for Usopp, for example, to use his slingshot. Same with Nami and her baton. Obviously, the Gigantesco Mano for Robin is going to go ahead and improve, and she's going to have the mean floor, all of that as you level up the character. Now, here's why I paused. Here's something very important as to why I paused this immediately. Here's why I paused. Now, if you see and you follow me on the screen, these three characters right here are being linked by this triangular spiritual thing going on right here, right? This is where I mentioned that this game is going to be basically the next Chrono Trigger. If this game is borrowing anything from Chrono Trigger, it's the following: the co-op combinations. The co-op combinations in Chrono Trigger is probably one, if not the best things that any RPG ever has delivered. Now, there's been RPGs that delivered it better. There's been RPGs that delivered it worse. But Chrono Trigger is that RPG that reminds me of, and when it comes down to this, co-linking, co-op linking, usage of characters to do certain attacks, certain moves, or whatever the case might be, Chrono Trigger is the very first one that comes to my mind. And here we seeing that happen with these characters, because I press play, as you guys can see, they're all attacked using their special attacks all together in one shot to create a massive ultimate per se. So I don't know, again, like I mentioned before, I don't know if these moves are going to already be open from the very beginning. I like the fact that they got the co-op linking, so depending on the characters that you have on screen, you can learn different techniques, which will make it that you have to use all the characters available and level up all the characters and associate them with each other. Possibly the missions that you'll get out there to go ahead and cooperate with other characters and other cast members. That's going to bring up your friendship level, your co-op levels, whatever, and then that's how you'll start unlocking new characters. There's different ways to go about it, but to be brutally honest, the only thing that I know is that this game is going to be hot. That is right. This game is going to be hot. It's going to be great. I'm here for it in regards to everything, and I mean everything that could possibly be brought forth from this particular gaming series, whether this is the first one in many attempts at this JRPG. I think that all One Piece fans, and I mean all One Piece fans, are going to be happy with this product, if it's not as bare bone or repetitive in the missions as other One Piece games have been. That is all I really look forward to, that this game doesn't become that. But ultimately, we're just gonna have to wait and see, and of course wait for the next trailer / breakdown or gameplay video that they release, so we could go ahead and analyze and see if we're right on the money with what we're talking about. With that being stated though, I'm gone. I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all let me know what you guys think, and let's set sail with our new One Piece adventure as we continue moving forward to the launch of One Piece Odyssey. Thank y'all. Have a good night. I'll catch you guys in the next